Hi there! Thank you so much for joining me today. This is Julie DiMatteo from thepaperpixie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US, and in this video tutorial, I've got a treat box sized to fit a package of the Biscolata Starz. I found these on Amazon. They are delicious. I'll be sure to add my Amazon link in the description, but they're just a really cute treat, especially for the holidays. And I believe 6 cookies come in one package. And this super cute treat box is sized to fit it. Now the finished dimensions of the inside of this box are 1.5 by 1.5 by 3.25. So there's lots of other things you could fit in here. I know you could fit a duo of Ferrero Rochers or Lindor truffles, maybe 3 Lindor truffles if they fit in there nicely, and lots of other fun treats as well. So we're going to be using products from the Eden's Garden product collection, and then I added this beautiful cherry cobbler ribbon to make it look a little bit more like a Christmas project. And this is really fun and easy to make, so let me show you how. We're going to start with a piece of evening evergreen that measures 6 inches by 6.5 inches. And along the 6.5 inch side, we're going to score this at 1.5, 3, 4.5, and 6. I'm going to rotate it to the 6 inch side, but I'm actually going to flip it for this part because the first 2 score lines I want to score on the back side of the cardstock. And we're going to score that at 5/8 from each side. So we'll do 5/8, then we'll rotate it 180 and do 5/8 again. Now I'm going to flip the cardstock back over, keeping it on the 6 inch side, and then we're going to score at 1 3/8 from each side. So 1 3/8. Rotate it 180 and 1 3/8 again. So your cardstock score lines will look like this. Next, we're going to fold and burnish on all the score lines, but pay attention to which side of the cardstock you've scored. So on the side that creates a valley score line, we're going to turn that into a mountain fold. And then those 2 end score lines where we flipped the cardstock over, I'm going to fold those backwards. And that's just because directionally they're going to fold the opposite direction. So from the side, your cardstock is going to look like this. Bringing in the template here, I'm actually going to turn it this way for now because that's how we're going to start our cutting. I've got my little 1/2 inch section here along the bottom. Then I'm going to take my paper snips and we're going to come in and notch in this middle section here. So I'm coming in 2 score lines and then just doing a little bit of a miter cut here. Again, coming in 2 score lines and a miter cut here. Now I'm going to rotate it. I'm going to cut up each of the vertical score lines, stopping at the 2nd horizontal score line. Right here, that's going to remove those corner pieces. And then I'm going to cut up the remainder of the vertical score lines and stop at the 2nd horizontal, like so. I'm going to rotate it. We're going to repeat the exact same thing. And again, those 2 corner sections will be removed with that vertical cut. So now our piece is starting to look like this. We're going to have these 2 pieces remain untouched, so I'm going to fold those out of the way. So the 1st and the 3rd. If you've got your 1/2 inch section along the bottom, on the right side, it's the 1st and the 3rd. And then I'm going to remove that outside section from these 2 pieces. And then I'm going to miter cut these 2 pieces. So we're looking like that. Now on this left side, again, we're going to fold back the 1st and the 3rd, but it's actually easier if I turn it this way since I'm right-handed. So looking in that direction, I folded the 2nd and 4th out of the way. Those are the ones we want to keep intact. And then I'm going to remove those outside sections of these 2 pieces. And finally, I'll come in and miter cut those, like so. Now I'm going to bring in the detailed trio punch, and these pieces that we left intact, we're actually going to round the corners on those. So I'm going to just start on this outside edge and we're going to feed that into the punch and round the corners. Now, to make sure that you can get this lined up right, I always like to fold to give myself a flat edge on the corner that I want to come in and punch. So just go ahead and do that and work your way around. All right, like so, we got those pieces rounded. Next, we're going to adhere our designer series paper. This comes from the Eden's Garden specialty paper, and I'm not sure if you can see those little gold foil accents, just beautiful. These 4 pieces measure 1 1/4 by 3, and if you had a directional pattern, you want to cut it in landscape. And I'm just going to glue those 4 pieces right in these 4 larger panels using multi-purpose liquid glue. There we go. I love that beautiful paper with the white background on this. Now I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to fold on the second score line from the left. So we got that 1/2 inch tab. I'm going to apply liquid glue to that. Then I'm going to fold in the first score line from the right and just press flat using our score lines to square everything up. Like so. Okay. Now we can go ahead and tuck in our little tabs. And then we need to add some hole punches to these sides here. So I've got the retired 1/8 of an inch circle punch, just any old hole punch will do. And I'm just going to make sure that those are lined up right before I come in and punch, like so. And then try to center it as best you can. You can always do a template if you need to, but usually eyeballing it works. And then we're going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. Get those lined up. Like so. All right, now before we close this box, we're going to do a little bit of stamping using a really sweet sentiment. Let's celebrate everything from the Eden's Garden stamp set. This is a distinctive stamp set, so these images here are just gorgeous and have all kinds of dimension, just inking and stamping once. I love distinctive stamps. We're going to stamp the sentiment in Evening Evergreen onto basic white. Then I'm going to punch that out with the double oval punch. I'm going to move the sentiment a little bit to the right because I want to leave room for the hole punch because we're going to turn this into a tag. And then I've got a piece of the gold and rose gold 6x6 metallic specialty paper. You can find this hidden on page 135 of the annual catalog. And I'm just going to punch out a scalloped oval. I'm going to glue these two pieces together using liquid glue. And then I'm just going to punch a hole using that same 1/8 of an inch circle punch right there on the left edge of the oval. Turning that into a tag. Now bringing our box back in, let's go ahead and put in our Biscolata Starz. And we'll get ready to close this. We're going to use the beautiful cherry cobbler and gold metallic ribbon. I love this ribbon. And the first thing I'm going to do is feed it through my tag first. I love to tie the ribbon off the roll because I think it conserves ribbon, but we got to get this kind of teed up so that everything's lined up where we want it to be. So I'm going to feed that through there. I know that looks crazy. Then I'm going to feed it through the right side. So going from, you want to determine where the front of your box is. I actually think I'm going to do it this way so that our seam is in the back. So then I'm going to feed this through the right side. And this ribbon does fray pretty easily, so feel free to use your take your pick tool if you need to push that through. I'm going to pull that through, and then we're going to go around the back. And on the left side, we're going to come back through the bottom to the top. Now I just want to make sure that that ribbon is all lined up. Twist it to where you need it to go if you need to. Don't worry about the tag right now. That can kind of hang out here. We'll fix that and put it where we want it when we're done. And now I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow. I do like to use my reverse tweezers for this. That helps me hold the knot together, sort of my third hand. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this knot first. Put that reverse tweezer right there in the center. And then I can work on my bow. All right, now time to zhuzh. Then I'm going to grab one of these gems from the Garden Gems, part of the Eden's Garden collection. And I don't know if you can see that if I catch the light here. These are actually cherry cobbler, but they've got a little bit of an iridescence to it. So depending on the light, they can look green or they can look red. I love that about these. I'm just going to grab one of the larger sized ones, and we're just going to add that here onto our tag to give a little bit of extra bling. Then we can just slide that tag right underneath the bow. And if you need to move these little side pieces, you can absolutely do that. That ribbon is going to hold this box closed. I love the looks of this box and how different of a closure it is. Really super cute to make as a little treat box for the holidays, or switch it up for any holiday by changing up the stamp set and the paper and colors, etc. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss my next video. If you're interested in purchasing any of the Stampin' Up! Products I used today, they'll be linked in the description. And I'll also include a link to my detailed blog post with all project measurements, details, and a picture of the template. I'd love to have you come visit me at thepaperpixie.com, where I post projects to inspire you. And if you don't want to miss a thing, you can subscribe to receive blog updates via email, and you'll receive an email each time I publish a new post. You can shop with me anytime at thepaperpixie.com/shop. And if you're interested in a discount on your Stampin' Up! Purchases, the starter kit is the ultimate bundle, and it's a great way to fulfill your wish list for less. You can purchase the starter kit at thepaperpixie.com/join, and I'd love to welcome you to my team of paper pixies in the Stampin' Up! Family. If you don't already have a demonstrator and you'd like complimentary copies of our current catalogs, you can submit a catalog request at thepaperpixie.com/happymail. And if you give this project a try, I'd love to see what you made, so feel free to share it on social media with the hashtag #paperpixie, and I'll be sure to check it out. Thanks again for watching. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Take care. Bye.